Stay here. This is about as fun and easy as it gets. Being able to just walk out and in 3 minutes you're at the golf course, and what a beautiful setting this place is. And then the golf course itself is such a challenge. You know, you normally have to play it in wind. You normally have to play it with different winds, so you almost play two different golf courses when you get the north versus the south wind, and looks like we're going to get that again this year. So you got to flight the ball, get a shot make, got to be really precise with your distance control into these greens. So I really enjoy that challenge here. Fairway surfaces, green surfaces are money. I'm sure they'll be able to speed these greens up as this wind dies down as the week goes on, and it's in as good a shape as I remember seeing it.
And I heard you talking a little bit ago, talking about how this win last year kind of erased that gap that you'd gone through. How special was it to get back to form in the winner's circle here last year? Yeah,
I had knocked on the door, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times from January until we got here in March, and just hadn't quite closed. Even had a couple shot lead a couple times, and so I just did a really good job of staying patient and saying I'm doing the right things. I'm lipping out putts on Sunday. They're going to lip in one of these days. And then Charlie Hoffman chips in twice on the back nine and makes things really difficult, but ultimately closed it out nicely on 17 and 18 just to get a win. And it felt great. I arrived back here, and I don't think about the first however many times I played this place. Last year is really what comes to mind, and it was just it was a really cool week because it was just a monkey off the back, that less about what I put on myself and more just having to answer the questions. And I just got annoyed with that because I was like, look, I'm playing really well, and the difference in finishing third or fourth sometimes is simply a bad wind gust or a couple putts that you did nothing wrong on. So I've overreacted to that in the past, and I didn't last year, and I think it led to being successful on Sunday. So I feel like this year I've been actually striking the ball better than I was coming in last year throughout this entire season, 2022 thus far. Just, I've got a little bit to show for it, but not a ton, and a lot of that just comes down to knocking putts in, and so I've just got to get a little sharper on the greens.
Okay. All right. Well, with this one, we'll take a few questions. If anybody has a question, if you just pop your hand up, and I will. Lee, are you up? Oh, okay. Yep. So I'm gonna.
Greg Luca with the San.
You're good. Yeah, we can hear you.
Greg Luca with the San Antonio Express News. I just wanted to ask, is it any different coming back as a defending champion in terms of your preparation for this week and maybe the confidence you have heading into it, or any changes as a result of last year's win?
It's actually, my preparations look very similar. I got last year, I was knocked out of Austin on Saturday, took a day off, came down and practiced in the afternoon, didn't play any holes, and played 9 and 9. I know the course well enough to where I don't feel like playing 27 or 36 holes prior to this tournament is going to serve me much better, and could actually wear you out a little bit with this wind and the idea that, obviously want to play well this weekend. I want a 10-day stretch of peaking from Thursday through the next Sunday. So I'm trying to save energy. I did that a lot last year too, and I felt like I was primed by Sunday, and I'm just trying to do the exact same thing, which is not very different from any other week to week as well. I would say maybe a little bit more dialing on a couple shots, thinking about next week. That could only help for this week.
And this is the 100th anniversary of this tournament. As somebody who's played this event a few times, I'm wondering, does that mean anything to you, or is that milestone significant in any way?
Well, I think it being the Texas Open and being a Texan, I think that it was really special to kind of have that be an accolade for myself last year, having won this event. That doesn't speak to it being the 100th this year, but it just the longevity of it and the history of this tournament. You look at in the clubhouse here, and you look at the Texas greats, some Hall of Famers from Nelson to Hogan to Trevino. These guys that I call Trevino Texan. He's been in Texas long enough. But anyway, it's got tremendous history, and for a tournament to be around that long on the PGA Tour, there's only a very small handful of events like that. So I'm happy to be here this year. It was never in question, and I look forward to trying to repeat.
Does the event today have any kind of specific identity or anything that sets it apart from the other tournaments on the tour?
I think it plays very Texas. By that I mean, like, you have to control your ball in conditions more so than just about anywhere else. You got to do it through the bag too. Like, there's very few courses that are this demanding off the tee with trouble on both sides of holes. And so if you're just a little bit off, you could end up, having a shot, but you could also end up having to play sideways. And without a ton of water on the golf course, it's still one of the hardest tracks we play all year. And so we don't get a lot of really tough courses anymore, and this is one of them.
Light's got me. Anybody else? Question? Kendall, come on up here. We're saving the last question for you, and you beat me to it. We've got a special guest with us today that Jordan's had a few minutes to spend time with, and we've actually got a question for you. You want to ask your question first?
Yes.
Stand right over here. Don't be.
What is the best advice you can give to someone who's just learning to play?
Just learning to play, I would say find a couple friends that also are just learning to play that are interested, and play. I mean, or like we talked about earlier, like a Top Golf, where you can go somewhere and like learn to really enjoy, progressing into it. For me, I fell in love with the game because I had half a dozen other kids my age, and we all just wanted to go out to the golf course, and we'd play some, then we'd, throw a football, then we'd go play some more, then we'd practice some. So I'd keep it light and try and play as much as you can, because that's where you're going to hit those shots that keep you coming back.
Okay, and I've got two questions for you. First question, who's your favorite golfer? Good answer. Second question, you just had a chance to visit with him. Tell us what was the favorite thing you did with him on the range a few minutes ago.
I don't know. It was all pretty good. Just hitting the ball.
I think it might have been the set of clubs she got. I don't know if it was the time with me. It might have been the goodies she got.
All right, fair enough. Okay, well, thank you for your questions. You're welcome. Anybody else? I see somebody pointing. If you have a question, just go ahead.
Jordan, we just met your special visitor today. Just kind of want to get your standpoint on having the opportunity to make an impact, especially here in your home state.
In what way? Just charitably?
I know you
in
love
general,
connecting
or?
with people,
Sure.
especially the Make-A-Wish Foundation, things like that. What does this opportunity to give back mean to you?
Yeah, I think I feel that it's so easy, at times to just take time out of your day that could really make other people feel really good. And we get those opportunities, sometimes, and try and jump on them. I guess I could say I'm fortunate. I've grown up in a household to see, with my little sister with special needs, to see kind of she gets to meet somebody she wants to meet, and it just makes her day for a week or a month or whatever, and you just sit back and you're like, man, was I really that frustrated about the way I putted last week? Like, in all reality, like, where's the perspective on that? And I think just finding perspective as often as you can. And, we're just so lucky to be out here and play golf for a living. And we all, as competitors, like, we want to win, and we find ourselves playing sometimes we'll be, not at our best at times as we're trying to grind and compete. But if you can find perspective, as often as possible, and kind of recognize where you can actually, if I'm her favorite player, like how easy is it for me to go over and hang out and hear her story. There's opportunities sometimes, and try and embrace them, and I'm glad that this worked out today.
All right, well, Jordan, we appreciate your time as always. Certainly
Thanks,
wish
sir.
you the best.